Your storage is going to go fast.
Yeah, I've deleted so much videos. But it's okay, because the DMU wouldn't let us borrow cameras.
Oh.
Yeah, because we're like, it's assignment season for the media students. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Should have done the assignments earlier.
Should have.
Yeah. So for the purposes of this interview, if you could just like turn up your volume a bit,
Yeah,
so
okay.
the speaker can like catch what you're saying clearly. What else? Yeah, that'll be it. Yeah. So let's get started. Welcome to the UC Board election interview by Oniswa. Before we get started, can you please introduce yourself, your name, degree, and year?
So my name is Nabilah Chowdhury. I am doing a wildlife conservation degree. My second major is international relations with the Taronga Zoo Bachelor of Science in Advanced Studies.
Yeah.
And I'm in third year right now.
Yeah.
3.5 year right now.
And what is your favorite USU venue on campus?
My favorite USU venue is Courtyard because their lemonades slap.
Yeah, and why are you running for board?
So I'm running for board because I feel like even after running again last year, there still hasn't been much change from what I can see. Obviously incorporation has happened, etc. But I think that we still need to hold the USU accountable with who they're investing with and make sure that there's due representation on board. I feel like this year I'm the only science student running, and I think the board that implements into your student life should really reflect the student body it serves.
Yeah. And moving on from that, so can you please tell me your top 3 policies?
My top 3 policies. So I want to have investments we have from such as Coca-Cola and McDonald's, and make them incorporate BDS into the USU, having changing that investments from, instead of removing them completely, replacing them with more investments that actually stand by students' morals and students where they want their money to be put, because in the end it is their money. The second one would probably be expanding Food Hub and making student affordability on campus. And the third one would be more racial and decolonization policies.
Yeah. And I guess leading on to that, can you pick one of those 3 that you just mentioned? And can you tell me, how did you come up with it? And was it your idea? Who did you consult or talk to before deciding that this was a priority of yours?
I think the BDS and investments. I think from a young age I've really known about how much organizations and companies really invest into countries like Israel who are committing war crimes. And I think that while I came up with it myself, I did talk to my campaign manager, I talked to other students on campus who are in it with Students for Palestine, etc. like that. And I made sure, and I was talking to other people in the Palestine movement in general, and finding out that USU is investing in companies like Coca-Cola and McDonald's was just horrifying to me, because I feel like I don't want my money that I have to pay every year to have to go towards companies I don't align with. And I think lots of people on campus agree with that, and if they knew, like some people don't know, even though they are very pro-Palestine, they don't know that where their monies are going. And with SAF, because SAF and university as a whole and the financial system, it's so big to understand if you're not in the stupole space, unfortunately. But yeah, I feel like talking to other students, telling other students that. I read the Honiswa little article about it as well, and SRC, I think they're doing a petition on it at the moment. I was talking about that with my friends, and they were all like, yeah, that needs to be changed.
Yeah. And just moving away from the policies, can you please describe your politics without using the words right wing, left wing, progressive, or independent?
Okay, without using any of those words, I guess I grew up in a single mother household. I grew up in government housing in the UK. I grew up with my mum, who is a staunch activist for many different causes. And I think from a young age, I've seen how institutions and organizations that many people won't be able to see how much it actually affects day-to-day life. I think through that has really influenced my politics, and it has really made me able to see how companies and organizations, government really affects like how people live, from anything from the cost of living crisis.
Yeah. I guess on another note, can you please disclose if you are a member of any political party?
Yes, I am part of the Greens.
Yeah.
I ran for council, I think 2024, local
Yeah.
council.
Are you a member of any faction in USyd?
No.
So are you running as an independent?
Yes.
I guess I have a two-part question with that. Why are you a member of the Greens, and why are you running as an independent?
I'm running as an independent because I'm no longer part of a faction, and I'm part of the Greens because it's always aligned with my interests since I was a young child. I think having a mum who's a staunch activist, being able to see what they do and the impacts they make and the stances they stand on has really impacted why I'm a member of the Greens. I've been part of the Greens since I can remember, like in high school as well, doing School Strike for Climate and organisations like that and volunteering for organisations like that, and they were the ones who supported us a lot of the time, and through that I had then become a Greens member.
Yeah, I was just wondering, you mentioned you left, you're not part of a faction anymore. Which faction was it?
I was part of Grassroots in my first year.
Yeah, so moving on, do you think then should the USU be more political or less political?
I think they should be more political, especially with things that actually align with student interests. So things such as where their money goes, to their morals and standpoints in the world. I feel like if you're not political, then you're not actually, there's no such thing as not being political, and not being political comes from a place of privilege. In saying that, like, there's so many things that the USU should be doing, and like even with the cost of living crisis, not being able to do anything with that would be being non-political in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I guess then, speaking about BDS, it has been quite a sustained topic over the recent months in the USU board meetings.
Yes.
The current board has declined to adopt BDS.
Yes.
If elected, would you support the USU integrating it? Why or why not?
I would. Integrating BDS.
Yes.
Yes, I would definitely support it. I think that's one of my main policies. I would, because, as I said, money that students give should be aligning with their interests, and it should really be representing. Also, I don't think a union should be investing in things that contribute to war crimes. That's just my own opinion.
I guess, can you tell me how would you, or like what is your process on getting BDS integrated into the board? Like, how does that look like, or how does that work?
You'd have to bring it up in a board meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually having it integrated, if it were to pass, were to be looking at how we can replace those investments, because obviously USU, like as much money as it does get, like it gets $9 million a year, it still being a VSU organization, it still needs more money. So being able to find investments that align with CODA would be
Yeah. And yeah, so again, on to a recent meeting, an SRC councillor asked whether Coca-Cola's Welcome Fest activation was a paid sponsorship. The USU admitted that it was, and that commercial arrangements are not disclosed. So my question would be, should USU sponsorship arrangements be publicly disclosed to members?
Absolutely. I think 100% they should be disclosed. There needs to be much more transparency in the USU, which we don't see today. And I think the USU, considering it serves for its students, it should be very, very transparent.
Yeah. And a bit of a hypothetical question then. So given that Coca-Cola is named in BDS campaigns, would you have signed off on that sponsorship as a board director?
Me personally, no. I don't even drink Coca-Cola or anything from those products since, I think I haven't drunk anything for like 3 or 4 years, so I definitely wouldn't have signed off on that.
Yeah. And I guess on that note, so with hypotheticals,
Yes.
let's say you get elected
Mhm.
and you are attending your board meeting, your own
Yes.
board meeting. How comfortable would you be, I guess, disagreeing with an exec
Yeah.
or a fellow board member on, like, let's say, public-facing issues?
I think I'd be very comfortable. I think that's just me as a person. I've called people out everywhere from under the sun. I don't think I'm actually scared of confrontation at all, especially when issues that genuinely matter and issues that have a huge impact on people.
Can you name one critical thing about how the USU currently operates?
What do you mean?
Something that you're very critical of the USU.
Oh, something I'm very critical is the lack of transparency in the USU, not knowing where investments go. It's very hard as a normal, regular student to know where your money is going. Like, obviously, if you're in student politics or if you know a lot and you do a lot of research, it's very easy to find. It can be easy, but it's not as easy as it should be, and it should be much more transparent.
Yeah.
Where they're investing their money.
And I guess the opposite of that question would be, name one thing that you love about the USU.
Oh, I love so much about the USU as well. I love Food Hub. I love how much they do for Food Hub. I think as much love as I have for it, it needs to be expanded. Obviously, it's obviously a critique, but I feel like with anything you love, you can always make it better.
Yeah. And on that, what's one issue in the university, so not just USU itself, that you care really, really deeply about?
What I care really, really deeply about? I think being able to have, students in general and having them be able to afford things on campus, being able to actually look after the students and make sure they have the needs that they have, which is why I love Food Hub so much. Being able to make sure they're looked after, making sure concession cards for like international students should be 100% a thing, because they're one of the most burdened groups in the whole university, and I was talking to someone the other day, 40K for a semester at uni, it's crazy and diabolical. Like, I think supporting students through financial burden, 100%.
Yeah. Are you familiar with any of the portfolios or committees on the USU board?
Yeah, there's women's, there's disability, there's international students, there is, I can't remember any of the other ones.
Yeah. I guess if elected then, which portfolio or committee would you prefer to take on?
I'd want to be women's or disability.
Yeah, and why is that?
So women's, because with the Red Report, I know that was a while ago, but having experienced things on campus, I feel like it's a meaningful portfolio, I think, for lots of people. And I think if I were to get up, depending on how many women get up, it should 100% be held by women, and having experiences would allow me to do that. And disability is the same kind of thing. I have experiences, I've been able to access things that the university has been able to give. I also have critiques on what university should be able to do, so I think having one of those two portfolios would be the best way.
Yeah, and I guess now that we are approaching campaign season,
Yes.
one of the, I guess, biggest critiques from the wider student body is that it's very easy to talk the talk during campaigning and promise all sorts of stuff. How would you hold yourself accountable to the students who voted for you?
I think I've always really held myself accountable. I think people who've voted for me in the past and for other organisations, I think you can even see it through the things I've done at a general level, not just in the university, I do lots of community engagement, I do lots of things with lots of different volunteering opportunities, etc. I think knowing I'm not just walking the walk and talking the talk, because unlike other past candidates, you can see through things I've done in the past, I actually care about the topics, and I've actually been doing them for such implementing volunteering and stuff like that since such a young age, and volunteering for companies like organizations like Starlight, Make-A-Wish, etc. I feel like that really says a lot.
Moving on from that, you ran for board last year and
Yes.
came seventh, from what I recall.
Yes.
You were just beaten out by Noah Rankin.
Yes.
Can you walk me through what happened in that campaign from your perspective, and what is different? What is different from your campaign compared to last year?
Last year, it was a lot for me. Last year, I went through a lot of personal challenges, which obviously didn't know was going to happen before it happened. So I think that had a huge impact in how I ran the campaign last year. Obviously, didn't have as much energy as I would this year, with everything, because like everything that happened last year kind of popped up literally just before first starting campaigning, and then the first week of campaigning I was in and out of hospital, so like very much wasn't able to campaign as much as I can. I think looking forward, being able to be more prepared beforehand, being able to know how the process actually goes ahead would actually is how I'm running it now. I'm just making sure that everything's
Has anything from your, I guess, policies from last year changed this year, or has it remained relatively the same?
I think I've added to last year. I think I had investment policies last year, but I deepened those. I haven't really taken any of my policies out. I've more so very much just added to those policies.
Do you think, in your opinion, you have some sort of edge compared to candidates running this year, since you already have experience in campaigning?
I think, yes, obviously, I think I have a bit more edge because I have ran before. And I know the experience of doing a honey star interview. I know the experience of going to a softball and being absolutely nervous. I also think, not even just because of that, I'm the only science student running, and every other student that's running is doing law, finance.
7 out of 11?
Yep, 7 out of 11. And or they're doing debating, and I feel like there's it's a very big lack of diversity. And I think that we genuinely need students who actually represent the student community, because you can't have a whole board full of everyone in finance and everyone in economics and everyone in like the laws, and not have someone who knows how to do like a stats class, and then being able to like actually know what it's like to be one of those students. Yeah.
And I guess moving away from that then, can you disclose who your campaign manager is for this year?
Yeah, Jenna Ritchie, same one as last year.
Yes, okay. I think that leads me on to this question then. So your campaign manager this year is Jenna Ritchie, who is also the president of Sydney Art Society, or SAS,
Yes.
I believe. So the SAS Instagram has been doing collab posts with your photography account
Yes.
in the lead up of the campaign period.
Yes.
And under the USU bylaw, and I'll quote it, so a person who holds an executive role of a club or society or university student organization or affiliated bodies must not use the title, powers, or resources of their role to create the appearance of endorsing or supporting a candidate. And there are whatever penalties it might be. Some students have raised whether the SAS collab post fall under that clause, given Jenna's dual role as in the use of the SAS account. How would you respond to that concern?
I think if you look throughout that photography account, I've done photography for the fencing team where they've collabed with me. It's very much nothing to do with the society, with running. We can also, if it causes that many concerns, I can just not ask them to collab with me. I'm perfectly fine with that. For me, it was very much having them collab with me was more so for my photography side of things, I'm not gonna lie. And many, like I've done photography for many different like societies and stuff. As like clubs and society, like clubs especially with the sporting teams and stuff outside of that. So I don't think it has anything to do with me running, but I can absolutely stop doing that if that's something that needs to be done. I don't mind.
Okay, so I guess you would defer to like the returning officer then, like that judgment.
Yeah.
All good. And I guess moving on then, some might argue that a majority of UCID's student population are quite, I guess, disengaged with elections and
Yeah.
super stuff. And let's say I am a politically disengaged student.
Mhm.
It's campaign season.
Yes.
How would you approach me and pitch yourself in Eastern Avenue?
I would obviously not come up and yell at you. I'm more relaxed with the way I campaign. I go, hey, do you want to have a chat? And if they don't want to, if they want to go off to class, perfectly understandable. I understand why people avoid Eastern Avenue during campaign season. It's a lot. It's hectic. It's overstimulating. I completely understand it. If they want to have a chat, I'll ask them who they are first and what degree they do and see what policies that might align with them and talk to them through that.
Yeah. And as you are already aware of, there's 5 students who will be, or 5 candidates who will be elected for this year's board election. Let's say you're one of them. Which other 4 candidates would you be keen to work with the most on the board and why?
I actually don't know at the moment. I don't know who I'd be most keen to work with because I haven't really had much conversations with all the other candidates yet. I think Bohau would be a big one because I've known Bohau for a very long time and I know his stance on many things. But
yeah. And I guess on that point then, who do you see is your strongest competition in this race?
Oh, I actually don't think anyone's my strongest competition. In the way that I don't think anyone else's strongest competition because they are all kind of versing each other being law students and being economic students. They're fighting over the same kind of categories in a way. I don't know, honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and before we move on to I guess the more chill questions, so lastly, why should a student vote for you?
I think because even seeing that I ran again this year, I think I'm very committed to having the policies and listening to student voices, making sure that I don't just get up on board and do absolutely nothing and just get the advantages I get and not do anything. I'm very much a person who follows through with their word. But yes, I think that's why students should vote.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, now, so a big part of, I guess, elections in general are coming up with slogans.
Yes.
Can you please tell us what is your slogan?
Nabilah is necessary.
Nabilah is necessary.
Nearly said naturally Nabilah.
I guess then that leads me to my next question. I guess, how did you come up with it? Why did you change your slogan from last year and to now? And is there a message behind that
I
slogan?
think Nabilah sounded too much like a toothpaste campaign. And the logo looked like a toothpaste campaign as well. So changing that was crucial to me because also kind of haunts me in my dreams sometimes. I didn't actually come up with it. Jenna Ritchie came up with it.
Yeah. What back color are you running on for this year?
Matcha green.
Matcha green, lovely. And what is your favorite drink to get on campus?
I love my lemonades. Layla Wang put me on those and I will always love
The
the lemonades from Courtyard.
Yes. Courtyard lemonades on top. And lastly, before we wrap up, what is your green flag and what is your red flag?
Oof, my red flag is, I know I have one. I'm really trying to think though. The man of all-nighters I do, I think. I think I do them too often. And my green flag is, what is it bad? I can't think of. I work with animals, so I'd like to say that's a green flag.
It is. But yeah, those are all the questions that Oni has.
Okay.
So congratulations for
Thank you.
completing your interview.
Thank you.
Yeah.